Hello students. Continuing with our discussion on the physical features of India, this time we are going to discuss this part or this portion of India that we call as the Northeastern Hills and Meghalaya Plateau. Now, in fact, in this region of India, we can find the presence of number of hills which are present almost in a north to south direction, and of course the presence of Meghalaya Plateau. The hills that are located here, they are popularly known as, or this region is popularly known as the Purvachal. Keep in mind, this Meghalaya Plateau does not come under the area of Purvachal. In fact, the major ranges that are found in this area or in this region, in the extreme northern side, there is of course Dhapa Boom, whose highest peak is Mount Dhapa, which is also the entire highest peak of this region. Just to its south, there is of course Mismi Hills. Then further, it actually lies in Arunachal Pradesh. Further south of the Mismi Hills, there is Patkai Boom. Patkai Boom lies in Arunachal Pradesh as well as in Nagaland. Then in the area of Nagaland, there is of course the Naga Range, and its highest peak is Mount Saramati. Then further south in this area of Manipur, there is of course the Manipur Hills, and this Manipur actually is located in a valley surrounded by mountain on all sides, and here also lies the very famous lake, that is the Loktak Lake. Then just to its west, here we find the presence of another range, that is the Barail Range, and it is in this range only we can find the presence of Kachar Hills. Further south in the area of Mizoram, this is the area of Mizoram, we find the Mizo Hills. Mizo Hills is also sometimes popularly known as the Lusai Hills. And in the area of Tripura, this is the area of Tripura, we find the presence of Tripura Hills, which contains number of small hills like Baramuda is there, Atharmuda is there, Long Tarai is there, which can be found in this area. Now in the eastern part of this, in the western part of this region, we find the presence of Meghalaya Plateau. This is the area of the Meghalaya Plateau. Many actually believe that this Meghalaya Plateau actually is an extension of what we call extension of the peninsular plateau or into this region. The Meghalaya Plateau physiographically can be divided into three physiographic division. इसको तीन हिस्सों में west to east, अगर इस तरह से we can divide it into three parts. Western part we call it the Garo Hills. Central part we call it the Khasi Hills, and the eastern part we call it Jaintia Hills. If we divide it into three parts, western part Garo Hills, central part Khasi Hills, and eastern part we call it as Jaintia Hills. Now the Garo Hills, its highest peak is Nokrek. In the Khasi Hills, the highest peak is Lam Silong, and in the Jaintia Hill, the highest point or peak is Marang Si. These are the highest peaks or highest point of this region. Now in the central portion of this Khasi Hills, there is of course another plateau, what we call the Silong Plateau, where the capital of Meghalaya lies, that is the Silong lies, and the highest point of this Silong Plateau is Silong Peak. Silong Peak actually is a point in Shillong, from where the entire city of Shillong can be seen. पूरा का पूरा शहर वहां से देखा जा सकता है. There is of course an Air Force base also there. From there, entire view of Shillong town can be seen. Now, coming to another division of our country, that is the northern plains of India. Now the northern plains, this vast area actually has been formed mainly by three rivers. One is river Indus, then river Ganga, and of course river Brahmaputra. In the west, the plains has been formed mainly in the Punjab and Haryana. It has been formed by river Indus. In case of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal, it has been formed by river Ganga and its tributaries. And in the eastern part, mainly in the area of Assam, the plains has been formed by the river Brahmaputra. Now these plains have different kind of soils. Entire area have got different kind of soils like Bhangar, which is actually old alluvium, Khadar, which is of course new alluvium soil found along the river beds. Then there is Bhabar. Bhabar actually porous gravel radial plains which can be found in the foot of the Himalayas. That is, sorry, at the lower portion of the foot of the Himalayas, just beyond the Shivaliks, the streams have deposited sediments, gravel, and as a result of the plain that is formed, we call it the Bhabar plains. Then there is of course Tarai plains. Tarai plains again is composed of deposits of clay and of course silt which has been brought by numerous rivers, and in this area groundwater level is also very nearer to the earth's surface. Jameen ke zyada kareeb hai, as a result of which many springs and wetlands have been formed in this area. The Terai region entirely along the Punjab and this part, it has been covered with dense forest, but most of the forest in Punjab, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand actually has been cleared, and they have made a way for what we call agricultural lands. Now, these northern plains of India can be divided into three parts. One is Punjab plain, then the second one is actually the Ganga plain, and the third one is the Brahmaputra plain. A little bit about all these plains. Punjab plain, as the name suggests, it is mainly located in the area of Punjab and parts of the Haryana in the western part of these plains. These plains actually has been formed mainly by the river Indus and particularly its tributaries. In fact, this area has fertile Khadar rich soils which is often sometimes called the beds, and one can also find in these areas numerous areas or regions where small streams have formed deposits. Now, another thing about this area or this region, particularly southwestern part, mainly located in the Hisar district of Haryana, there are some shifting sand dunes also. Now, coming to the second one, that is the Ganga plain. The most extensive plain that has been formed in this region is actually by river Ganga and its tributaries. Now, coming to the tributaries of river Ganga that have formed this area, it is tributaries like Yamuna, Gandak, Son, Ghagra, Kosi. All these tributaries of Ganga have formed this Ganga plain. The Ganga plain again can be subdivided into Upper Ganga plain, Middle Ganga plain and lower Ganga plain. Now upper Ganga plain is actually formed from the tributary of river Ganga, that is Yamuna, up to Allahabad, where it meets with the river Ganga. That is the region of upper Ganga plain. From Allahabad to almost up to Rajmahal Hills, that is the area of the middle Ganga plain, and from Rajmahal Hills till up to the Bay of Bengal, that is the area of what we call the lower Ganga plain. Lower Ganga plain mainly lies in the area of West Bengal. Now, in this area, one can find the presence of Bhabar soil, Tarai regions, one can find Bhangar, Khadar. All these things actually can be found in this area. In fact, the rivers, particularly the tributaries of Ganga, are actually famous for changing their courses. One such river is of course river Kosi, which is actually known or very famous for changing its course, and also was known as the Sorrow of Bihar. Now, it is here in this region, the river Ganga along with river Brahmaputra has actually formed the largest delta of the world, which all of you know is known as the Ganga Brahmaputra delta, and the region is also known as the Sundarban because presence of Sundari trees or mangrove trees in this area or in this region. Now coming to the third division, that is in this area, that is the area of what we call Brahmaputra plain. The Brahmaputra plain actually has been formed by what we call the river Brahmaputra and its tributaries. In fact, this here in this area or in this region, one can find the river Brahmaputra along with its tributaries forming this vast plain area, mainly in the area of Assam. In fact, the innumerable tributaries that are there, they have actually formed number of alluvial fans in this region. Presence of oxbow lakes are also common, and due to deposition, number of sandbars have been formed in this area. One such sandbar, that is Majuli, is present in this area or in the course of river Brahmaputra. It is the largest riverine island of the world. Majuli, largest riverine island in the world. Now, after this division, let's move on to the another division, that is what we call the Indian desert. Now, Indian desert actually is an extension of the Thar desert, which extends well into the area of Pakistan. Now, Indian desert actually is located to the west of the Aravalli range. It mainly covers the area of Rajasthan. Some part of it can be found in Gujarat and southern part of Punjab also. Now, physiographically, this desert area can be divided into three parts. तीन हिस्सों में बांटा जा सकता है. In the extreme western part, the region is called Marusthali. Then the central part, we call it as Bagar, and the eastern part, we actually call it the Rohi. That is from west to east. If we divide the region from west to east, it can be called as Marusthali, Bagar and Rohi. Marusthali, Bagar and Rohi. Now, along the border with Pakistan, this region is known as the Marusthali region. Marusthali actually is known as the dead land, specifically because this region hardly has any presence of vegetation as such. The entire region is covered with number of longitudinal dunes. These shifting dunes locally are called dhariya. There is of course presence of dried lake beds. These dried lake beds are called dhand, locally called dhan. Bagar, it is of course a semi-desert area, but comparatively better off compared to the Marusthali. Here one can find presence of certain rivers. One among them is of course the Luni River. Luni River actually flows through the southern part of this area or of this Bagar region. There are number of short lakes that are present in this area. In fact, there are number of short seasonal streams which originate from the Aravallis and flow into this area. Rohi, located in the eastern part of this region, there are number of areas which contain fertile patches of tract land, fertile patches of land which are used for agriculture. In fact, the streams as well as the famous Rajasthan canal supplies water to this area and it is quite suitable for agriculture. Now coming to another division of India, that is the Central Indian Highlands and of course the Eastern Plateau. Central Indian Highlands and Eastern Plateau. The Central Indian Highlands on its west is bordered by the Aravalli range. On the south, there is of course the Vindhyas that are present. Eastern side, there is of course the plateau of Chota Nagpur, and on the northern side, it is the plains, northern Indian plains that are there which are present. In fact, this Central Indian Highland, ये जो central part है, it consists of number of small plateaus. Plateaus like Rewa Plateau, Malwa Plateau, Rewa Plateau, Bundelkhand and eastern side Bagelkhand plateaus can be found. Some of the important divisions of this Central Indian Highland. Let's start with the Aravalli range located in the western part. It is actually a mountain range which extends almost for 430 km, extending almost from Delhi to almost up to Gujarat. Now this range actually is also considered as one of the oldest mountain range in the world. It is an example of the relic mountain. Earlier it was actually a full mountain, but now it is considered as an example of the residual mountain. Guru Shikhar is its highest peak or highest point. Now, in the southern part, as I had told you, there is of course presence of Vindhyan ranges. This Vindhyan range, its highest point is Manpur, M-A-N-P-U-R. But this very recently, its name has been changed. It is now known as Swabhiman Peak. It is now known as the Swabhiman Peak. Now, just to the north of the Vindhyas, there is Central Highland, which is also known as Madhya Bharat Pathak. To the east of this region, that is just to the south of the Yamuna, there is Bundelkhand plateau. In the eastern side, there is another plateau, what we call Bagelkhand, G-H-E-L and B-A-G-E-L, both the spelling are normally used. This Bagelkhand plateau actually lies just to the east of a range what we call the Maikal range, and in this area, that is the area almost in the central part of the country, there is what we call the Malwa Plateau. Malwa Plateau actually is almost located in a triangle between the Vindhya range. On the northwestern side, there is of course the Aravalli range, and just located to the west of this Central Highland or Madhya Bharat Patha. Now, this Malwa Plateau region is actually separated by numerous forested hills, and it is drained by rivers like Betwa is there, Parvati is there, Kali river is there, Chambal river. This Chambal river specifically has formed number of ravines in this area or in this region. Now, eastern part of this plateau is of course covered by, it should not be go up to this point. eastern part of this plateau is covered by the very famous what we call the Chota Nagpur plateau. Chota Nagpur plateau mainly covers the area of Jharkhand, covering the western part of West Bengal, Purulia district of West Bengal, you can find it, and of course some northern part of Chhattisgarh also comes under this Chota Nagpur plateau. The plateau is formed of Gondwana rocks and is storehouse for minerals in our country. In fact, this region is also famous for the presence of Gondwana coal fields that are found. Rivers like Damodar, Subarnarekha, North Koel, South Koel have formed an extensive drainage pattern in this area and have converted this plateau almost into what we call a dissected plateau. This plateau, Chota Nagpur plateau, again can be further subdivided. On the northern side, there is of course Hazaribagh plateau, and southern side there is Ranchi plateau. Here the highest point is Mount Parasnath, that is of Rajmahal Hills, that is the highest point of this area or of this region. Now again I will stop here. The other divisions, that is the Deccan Plateau, coastal plains, and of course the island groups that are there, we will be discussing it in another video.